How's it going, everybody? My name's Eric, and in this video we're going to fix the no paper, reload paper, then press start on the Brother HL2280DW laser printer. Although we're working on the 2280, it will work with other printers as well, such as the HL2130, the HL2220, the HL2240, the HL2270, the HL2250, the HL2280, the MFC7360, the MFC7362, the MFC7365, the MFC7460, the MFC7470, the MFC7860, the DCP755, the DCP757, and probably even more models than that. The great thing about Brother is they do use a lot of overlapping parts, which makes it easier for working on the printers, installing the printers. It makes it a lot easier for repairing them or maintaining them or following tutorials on YouTube. So before we get into the video, I do want to let you guys know there is an index in the description. You can skip around to the part of the video that you want to see, because we're going to go over why it's not working before we actually get into the fix, and then we're going to get into another fix in case the first fix doesn't work for you or you want a more permanent fix. So with that little disclaimer being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. If you aren't already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. We do a plethora of videos on this channel, and printer repair, troubleshooting, and tutorials are one of the topics of videos we like to cover. And let's get into the repair. This is the error code that you get no matter how much paper you actually have loaded. Whenever you print or try to make a copy, it comes up with no paper, reload paper, then press start. You press start, it just runs through it again, and then it still can't pull any paper up. So the reason why this error is happening is because of this little square, which is part of a part that's inside of the printer. When you push your paper tray all the way in, there's a part of your paper tray that makes contact with that little white square. This part of the paper tray pushes in on that white square. That white square then has a cam lever which moves a gear that enables a drive motor on the pickup rolls and allows the printer to pick up paper. This could be broken. It could be just slightly dislodged. It could be slightly off-seated, which is the first fix we're gonna go over, or it could be completely damaged or disconnected and jumbling around in the side panel of the printer, which is going to be the second fix, is actual panel removal and replacement or reassembly. So for the first fix, this is the front left of the printer with the paper tray removed. More than likely, yours has a little tab here that has gotten dislodged. And if you can get to that tab with a pair of tweezers or some needle nose pliers, you're gonna wanna get this tab back on the outer side of the plastic. This little white tab right here may be off the rails, and you just need to carefully get it back on the rails with some tweezers or some needle nose pliers. You're gonna wanna make sure that this white square can be pushed and move back and forth freely. When you push it, you wanna push from the top, or if that tab has broken off completely, you're gonna wanna see the replacement fix, which is a little bit more complicated, but we still go over in this video. The more permanent fix is going to be replacing this little part, and that's what we're going to do right now. You're going to want to take the paper tray out. You're going to want to turn the printer off. We're going to be taking off this panel right here. The first screw you're going to take out is right here, but in order to get to it, you have to pull this little back cover down and take out this guy right here. It's just a normal Phillips head. Comes out just like that. Now you're gonna wanna put a little bit of pressure coming towards you on this tab and kind of release it from the little circle that it was screwed into. Then you're gonna rotate the printer, drop this little front thing. You'll see another tab right here that holds this side panel on right here. Also a tab right here. You're gonna wanna pull both of those sort of at the same time in order to release it from the front. Once all three of those tabs are off, it should come off relatively easy, and then you're left with all of the guts on that side of the printer. You can ignore everything. We're gonna be focusing in right here. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is to take off this drive motor, and it's really easy to do with just a flathead screwdriver. There's a flat side of the spindle. You're gonna go to the opposite side of the flat side, which is the base of the curved side, and you're going to just pull down a little bit on a piece of plastic, and then it'll slide off the spindle. Once you get that off, you can put it on the side. This is the part that we're going to be replacing. It's actually dislodged and kind of jumbling around in there. Yours might be attached, or maybe yours was in here as it was supposed to be. You're just going to remove this spring and then pull this white piece out. Here's the new piece on the left, and here is the old piece on the right. And as you can see, the new one has this tooth, the old one has a broken tooth, and it's that tooth that keeps the plastic in position and eventually can break off from the tray going in and out, which then allows this piece to get out of position. And when it's out of position, the other side of it, this cam, does not properly engage a gear in here. When the printer tray is pushed in, this pivots on that spindle, moving this cam underneath this gear, which actually lifts this gear into position with this gear, which drives the paper pickup roller and feeds paper into the printer. This is not in position, or this is broken, or it's not working right, it's not going to pick up paper, thus giving us the paper pickup error. Out with the old, in with the new. If for some reason you have your spring came off, it's very possible that your spring got dislodged as well. And the way you reinstall the spring is this little nub sticking out. You're going to put the spring on that spindle, and then you're going to push that little square side on the other side of a hook, and it kind of just sits in there like that. To get the actual cam plastic lever in, first you need to orient it correctly. The correct orientation is like this. As you can see, I'm just going to push this onto the spindle. I'm gonna hold it in with my finger down here, and I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure on the cam side and get it to slide underneath that cam gear. That's what you need it to do. And then once that is pushed all the way in, you can take this spring and put it back on the left side of that little plastic right there. Before we reinstall that motor, we're going to rotate the printer. You can see this white square is what gets pushed in on with the printer tray, causing the cam to spin and lift that gear. You can see the little hook is all the way on the outside of this channel, and it's actually what holds this piece in the correct position, allowing the cam to rotate and lift that gear when you push in the paper tray. Now we're going to reinstall that motor that we took off. It only goes onto the spindle one way. You just match the spindle up with the motor, and then these two little forks, they match up to this little peg right here, and then you push towards the printer. This little tab will click, and that will be now secured back into place. Now, before reinstalling the side case, I would recommend that you take the printer tray with some paper in it, reinstall it in your printer, close the back, close the front, very carefully plug the printer back in, turn it on, don't touch anything that's exposed. After the printer is booted up, try to make a copy of something, or just try to print something from your computer just to make sure that what you installed is seated correctly. Paper is now picked up, and now the printer can print. I need a copy of a RAM stick that I put on the scanner. Now we're gonna unplug the printer and turn it off, and we're going to reinstall this side cover. Open up that paper tray, open up the front. You're gonna have to open up the back. It's a lot harder to do on a table. I'm actually gonna do it on the floor. The taking off is easier like this as well, but the reinstallation is definitely gonna be easier because you need access to the bottom. We're gonna take the case, I'm going to line it up on the back, and then you're gonna wanna make sure that all of these tabs are kind of lined up in the middle, and then you're gonna wanna make sure that the front is not obstructed by anything, and you're gonna lift those two tabs and kind of push them down. It's kind of tricky, but if you work on it from the back and then make sure that's lined up and make sure that the front tabs are not caught on anything, you should be able to get it on pretty easily. Like mine's already on. And then you can close that.
Reinstall that one back screw you took off.
And your printer should be good to go. The repair really isn't that bad. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful. I will have a link to the part that I use specifically in the description. I bought it off of Amazon. It was $11 with 1-day shipping, and I wanted it here quick. There are some cheaper options with some longer shipping, but I wanted the quickest option, so I picked the $11 one with 1-day shipping. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please give the video a thumbs up. If you have any questions about this tutorial, throw them in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye.